the data science skill or the data analytics skill comes in, right? Because anybody can learn how to be a data scientist, but it's all about the practicality of it. And with that, as much as there's the technical aspect, with that comes the human intelligence, where you sort of have to say, okay, this is what is sitting in front of me. How can I make this more useful, and how am I actually going to represent the outcome of this thing? So you sort of like have to say what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. Okay, try different aspects of things so that you can get to the bottom of something and actually represent something that is more meaningful. Because remember, you can be as technical as you can be, but you still need that, intelligence in terms of explaining these insights to an audience that doesn't specifically understand, the deeper depth when it comes to data.
Yeah, so I think you're both speaking on exactly the same point in two different angles, and I think a lot of that is just making sure leadership understands the process and understands the value proposition of data science. I have come across multiple times the misconception that, hey, you've added more, we've collected data for the past 6 months. Now you're going to add in the 6 months data. You're going to be in a stronger position for your analytical work. That's not always the case. It depends on the problem you're solving, and depends on what the data is doing, right? Because it doesn't always add value when you add more data, to Rohiwa's point. And absolutely, collecting data and doing analytics for analytical purposes has no value to any business. It can be very difficult to connect analytical work and insights to a business agenda, very difficult. And also that leads to a lot of misconceptions. I have seen data science promises made on data science that is beyond the capabilities of technology right now, and it's all about bridging that misunderstanding to the point that whatever is being done can be applied practically, and that's really hard, that practical element, because you're there correcting misconceptions with what can actually be applied and to bring value in your business. Because you have some results that don't work today doesn't mean that it's failed. It just means that it's an iterative process which takes time to improve, right? So it means that you don't get your right answer from day one, but it might improve with time as you start to work on it and get more data. Data science has a lot of capabilities, but it won't necessarily mean that you can drop your workforce by 50%. It might mean that your team is more productive, so their time is more efficient, but it may not necessarily mean that you can get rid of everyone, the machine will do everything. So there's a long discussion. So what's great about consulting, in my time consulting, is if the success of the project really depends a lot on those initial workshops and initial discussions, because a significant percentage of the work is just based on aligning the business to the technology. And once you got that down, then everything aligns, and you've got a more likely successful outcome. And of course, the expectations are managed to how long it takes for you to get really the results you need to get your business going. So I'm just going to summarize that with just enough time spent in leadership to interpret the value that data science can bring the business.